Hey there, food fans. Welcome back to the Food for ThoughtCast with me, your host, Melissa Reagan, and my co-host with the most, Chef Steven Gonzalez. What's up?
Hi, how's it going?
Great. How are you, man?
I'm doing good. A little tired, but I'm good.
I hear that. If you guys are, like, dude, seriously, if you think I'm bored, it's not because I'm bored. My body is just
pity
tired.
on.
Like, there ain't no pity there, man. I can't hold them back. I can't hold them back. And it's rainy and dreary and outside today here, and it makes me sleepy, automatically sleepy. So
just the thought of it's making me start yawning.
Dude, yeah, just a big cuddly blanket, some hot cocoa. It's very much nighttime, and I just want a hot cup of coffee because.
Do you cry when you yawn, or is it just me?
A little. If I don't yawn like 3 or 4 times in a row, my eyes will start to tear up, and it's super annoying.
Yeah, same here.
I always yawn at the most inopportune times as well, right? Like opening a podcast, during church, at school. All these times I'm not bored. I'm not necessarily tired. I don't understand what it is. So,
and then people ask you, why are you crying? What's wrong? Oh, I just yawned. I'm good.
It's because life is beautiful. That's why I'm crying. I've been moved to tears. I'm verklempt, okay? Steve, what have you been up to? What was the most delicious thing that you ate this week?
I have been kind of cleaning it up a little bit diet-wise. So just because I'm cleaning it up doesn't mean that I cut out red meat. So you know what? The other day, I was actually celebrating my anniversary, my 7th wedding anniversary.
Happy anniversary!
Thank you. It's belated now, but yes, still thank you.
Fine, I take it back. You can't have it.
No, but I got this nice big prime ribeye, and it was marinated and seasoned, and we sous vide it, and then
Nice.
Yeah. What about you?
Oh, that sounds incredible. All right, so I'm going to have to say, arguably the most amazing thing I had to eat this week was that chopped brisket sandwich from Buc-ee's.
Heck yeah, buddy. Buc-ee's can do no wrong.
It's so good. It doesn't matter if I just ate or if I'm about to go eat. If Buc-ee's is on the way somewhere, like, I'm stopping. I just don't care. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. So fun fact. I think it was last weekend or weekend before last. I went to Austin to go see the people from Pod Meets World because they have their own show and they're kind of touring, and they opened up by saying that they went to Buc-ee's, and everyone lost their mind.
Oh,
and they're like, nice. Oh, it doesn't get more Texan than Buc-ee's. And I'm like, have you been to H-E-B? And I was like, H-E-B is way more Texan than Buc-ee's. And they all said, what is it? What is H-E-B? And of course, I'm wearing my H-E-B hat. I'm like, let me tell you.
Represent.
Yeah.
Let me tell you about this.
Maybe one day they'll come be a guest on
Texas institution.
Yeah. Maybe one day they'll just come and be a part of this, do an episode with us. That would be awesome.
Yeah. Come on, Pod Meets World.
Hashtag come on, Pod Meets World. Come hang out with us.
Yeah, come hang out with us. We'll teach you all about Texas food. We can do that. I actually was lamenting the fact that I'll become further away from H-E-B later on this year. And for anybody out there that doesn't know, I share my life with everybody. I am relocating to North Carolina for my job. And I am trying to figure out what grocery stores are there. And I was like, what's a Wegmans? And I think Dallas had a Food Lion until I was like 6. So that'll be cool. And then there's Publix and Harris Teeter. And
there's a handful out there, yeah.
There's a handful of places out there, but I know H-E-B out there.
We went out to Charlotte a few years ago for a music festival. We shopped at one of the grocery stores there, and they had like a wine bar and all that stuff in there.
Yeah,
kind of like
similar.
Yeah, so it was pretty cool. Yeah. I think they also had a humidor. Like they sold cigars and whatnot. They sold some pretty good looking tobacco, if I remember correctly.
Interesting. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure that's what it was. It's foreign to us Texans.
So I'm like just about 2 years in, right on the dot of not smoking. And then right now, as all the listeners know, I'm not drinking either. You guys, I need advice. I need like a food. Can I like cookies or something? I don't know. I need something.
Trading one vice for another.
There's a beer-shaped hole in my soul right now. That's actually not true. I feel great, and this was a really good idea. But I kid. But I haven't. I thought maybe I would binge eat a lot, and I haven't. Because even as much as alcohol is a depressant to your nervous system, it used to ramp my appetite up, and now I'm like, oh, that's what the full signal feels like. Great. Great. This is I don't need to eat 3 of these, just 1. Okay, that's amazing.
It makes
but
your
yeah,
tummy happy.
yeah, right. No, Buc-ee's though, the chopped brisket sandwich, and then they have a warm apple pie at that prepared foods like island in the middle. And I picked it up thinking that it was, like a McDonald's type, like a
Warm
fold
apple
over,
pie.
pie crust or something.
Uh-huh.
My man, it's an apple chimichanga.
Holy moly!
It is a tortilla
Can
wrapped
they do
around.
that?
Dude, they did it, and they put their whole foot in it because they folded up this teeny tiny little apple pie filled chimichanga, and then they rolled it in cinnamon sugar. Holy crap!
Oh,
dude, it was so good. It was so good. It was so good.
I would be about that totally.
I was.
So I just said I'm eating cleaner. I just changed that decision. I'm on my way to Buc-ee's here tomorrow. I have to now. Yeah.
He immediately regretted his decision, and he's going to change the entire trajectory of his clean eating commitment.
Yeah.
Well, I wish you the best of luck with that. I think you're going to crush it. I know you've been hitting the gym hard, and I mean, dude, whatever you want to do, you're going to do it. You're going to do it. You're going to do well.
We're all our own heroes in our own destiny.
That's right.
Hiya.
That's right. You're the master of your own. Steve, did you ever watch?
I don't understand the weird sound effects, but it just sounds cool, you know?
Ka-chow! You're a Lightning McQueen now. Ka-chow.
Is that what he says?
Yeah. Ka-chow. Steve, did you ever watch Modern Family?
I watched it in the very beginning, and then I just got so far behind that I stopped.
There's a fantastic episode where they're trying out. It's not quite gentle parenting, but it's probably some warped version of it for this show. Mitch and Cam are with Lily, and they're like, yeah, we're not telling her no. We're telling her to be in charge of consequences and in charge of outcomes and in charge of her own destiny. And so the little girl goes to put like a spoon in the garbage disposal, and somebody wants to yell no, and instead they're like, you're the master of your own spoon platoon. You're in charge of your destiny. That's what you just made me think of. I mean, random thought. Because I'm drinking less coffee right now too, so it's just like everything comes in here straight out the mouth hole, no filter, just rando thoughts.
Is that a wise decision?
Rando. Well, it's doing well. It's doing well for now. It's doing well for. I had 2 Diet Cokes today, but and I had G Fuel. I mean, I'm still getting caffeine. Don't get me wrong.
There you go. So, okay.
Yeah. No, yeah. When it's cold outside, man, I just want to take like a cup of coffee a bit. That's not a wise decision.
We need your brain to function, and we need your tummy happy.
It's functioning.
Speaking of which,
tummy happy.
I believe we need to talk about today's topic, which is
Offal. We are talking about Offal.
So we need your Offal happy. That sounds weird. We need your Offal happy because Offal is like brains and stomach and all the good stuff, intestines.
Offal, yes. Offal is the culinary term for organs. It's all internal organs that are not muscles. So everything else, the pretty things that people like to eat, right? The tenderloin, chuck ribs, and roast and shoulder. That's all big muscle groups. So how do you know what is offal? Everything that's not part of a muscle group, right?
We will talk about all that. Yeah.
We're doing it. It sounds just offal. I
feel like it's a big step. We're going to talk about offal.
Offal. It's a big step. So I think you can start with baby steps, right? What do you think is a good introductory organ meat for somebody who's never tried?
Well, I am a huge fan of liver and onions. That's one of my favorite meals. So I feel like once you get over the fact of what you're eating, then anything's possible. I mean, if you think about it, like I grew up at a young age where we ate menudo, and
Yeah.
made out of tripe, which is the
Yeah.
lining of the
I
stomach.
100%. So I think a lot of it depends on where you grew up and how you view, like what is your impression of organ meat or people who eat organ meat.
Love it.
So
Love
yeah,
it.
I mean, even into the 18th and 19th century, offal was greatly revered by French chefs, and most of the culinary
Yeah.
arts has the culinary arts as we know it as chefs now, right? Like the haute cuisine
Right.
stuff has its basis in French cuisine. They were the pioneers of a lot of techniques we use now, and
The
they
pioneers.
the
Yeah.
pioneers of the techniques. And I think I went a little
That was
German,
more Borat than anything else.
but why not? But it's so funny though. It's a Swedish chef Borat. Yeah.
Very nice. Yes.
Very nice. Hey, you know what? All I do is promise to entertain the people, Steve. I don't
Right.
promise it'll be accurate. Okay.
Eventually, it'll get done.
It'll,
But yeah, no, I mean, I think
all the mustache
introductory
might help.
offal, like liver is good. Now,
Liver's
I know
great.
you were saying it's more intestine, but like, isn't like tongue considered offal, even though it's a muscle?
Correct. So anything that's not like a muscle fiber, muscle group, right? If you think about it in terms
Okay.
like that, it's like a large, right? Like
I'm gonna be that guy that has to be like, well, technically it is, but
I mean, if you want to ruin it for everybody, you can be like,
so it was fun being the co-host, Even got fired.
So nah.
This turned into a great debate.
It takes so much energy to fire somebody. I'm just not in the mood. So you're safe. Don't worry about it. So it depends on perception, right? I think it's much easier for somebody to go, I like ham, than thinking about it's a pig's butt. It's a pig's thigh, right?
I like ham.
I like turtles. Ooh, I do like turtles, but turtles don't really have any offal to speak of.
I don't think I've ever had a turtle. I've had offal, lots of it.
Totally, right? Turtly.
That's turtly.
Yeah. I'm stupid. But yeah, so I think it's perception. I think it's really hard for somebody to look at like lingua or beef tongue in the store and be like, I want to eat that, because it kind of looks like our tongue. So, it's all about perception. You eat with your eyes first. Offal was one of the food items that was not rationed by the government during the World Wars. So there was plenty of it, but it became stigmatized and it became associated with poverty.
Yeah.
So
well,
they tried to get people to eat more liver, right? To conserve the better cuts of meat, what people considered the better or more classy cuts of meat for those who were enlisted. But other countries have no problem consuming all the parts and pieces,
Oh, I do. I would. I'd partake with them. Yeah.
Stephen, what are you grinning at?
I'm laughing because I heard something in the background that sounded like a pupper.
Yes, and the dogs are being ridiculous. Like he shook his collar. That's what you heard.
I know.
The jingle.
So did you know? So offal has a lot of vitamins and minerals, right?
Mm-hmm.
So some of them are. Let's see. They've got offal is nutrient dense and contains highly bioavailable protein and a balanced profile of amino acids, micronutrients including iron, zinc, selenium, and vitamins A, D, and B12. What the hell does all that mean? It sounds pretty cool though.
Well, in layman's terms, right? It's
good.
It's a complete protein. So most meat is, but offers also more, right? It offers more nutrients that are bioavailable, which means you don't have to combine them with anything else for your body to utilize them. Like beans. Beans are a great source of protein, but you have to put them with rice.
Musical fruit. So
they are the musical fruit, but you have to put them with rice to make them a complete protein. So that's basically what that means in a nutshell. But dude, okay, liver. Huh?
What's your favorite offal? We're going to be all over the place here. You understand that, right?
I get it. Sweetbreads, man.
Yeah. I
So
like it though, personally.
for those of you who are watching on YouTube, thank you very much, by the way. Sweetbreads, the thymus gland of the cow. I'm pointing at my neck. Anybody out there
Boy,
who's
yeah.
listening, the thymus gland. Now, does that sound gross? Yeah, kind
Yeah.
of. But it's delicious. It's delicious. I mean, listen, I would beg to argue that people do this kind of like reverse psychology trick with toddlers all the time. What kind of meat is this? Chicken? You know, like if you got served something and it wasn't prefaced with like this is a big bad organ meat that nobody ever eats and it sounds and looks gross and you just got served something that looked and smelled amazing and they told you like it's beef, well go to town, man. Like you know, like
I mean, technically it's beef and it has a beefy flavor to it and it is good.
technically
And
it's
it makes
beef.
me happy.
So sweetbreads you
Part of all my
sometimes
summer cookouts.
veal, so baby beef, right? Um, breads are delicious. It's like I said, it's the thymus gland. It's a strange name. I don't know how they came up with it, but it sounds better than thymus gland. I mean, I think, right?
The very first time I heard
Yeah.
it called sweetbreads, it completely threw me off because I was so used to only knowing it as mollejas, and which
Mm,
is in Spanish. And so when I heard sweetbreads, I was like, huh. And then I started thinking, I guess it does kind of look like some sweetbreads to a certain extent, but I mean, either way, I'm all about it. I've always
yeah.
been about it. I'm all about
I
Offal, dude. Totally. Like,
I honestly think that that was like a real PR move. Kind of like somebody was like, we can't call it Patagonian toothfish. We have to call it monkfish and or sea bass or whatever. Like it just yeah.
yeah. I'm also a very big fan of like heart. Do you eat heart? Have you ever eaten heart?
I have eaten hearts, chicken hearts. They're teeny, teeny, tiny. Boop, boop.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, all that makes me happy. It really does. It's almost like it's like a steaky, a beefier steak, right? Or is it just me?
No, it's really, really rich. Liver is decidedly liver flavored. Like it does have a very specific flavor profile. But when you get into things like hearts and kidneys, very, very rich. Very, very much umami in the flavor profile. A lot more depth in the flavor. That's why things like in the UK, you could have steak and kidney pie because kidney actually has the umami like to stand up to something like steak. You know?
Have you ever had kidney? I can't say
Yes.
I've had it once, and I don't know if I cooked it right.
Well, how did you cook it?
I think I pan fried. I don't remember. That was many years ago when I was like first starting to get into like Offal.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like I said, I want someone to show me how to make that. I've never had brains. Have you?
So, I have not had brains.
You sound like we sound like zombies. Brains.
Brains.
Yeah. I heard that you can cook them real lightly, like soft scrambled eggs. There you go. That's a tongue
Yeah.
twister. Right?
Okay, so I have to be like just in the right mood. Like the stars have to be lined up just right for me to be in the mood for soft scramble because it's just a pile of snot. I'm not a fan of that texture all the time. I don't know what I'm like an over easy. I don't know, man. Yeah, I don't know. I love that consistency, right? Like
Yeah,
cottage cheese. I'll eat cottage cheese,
I would too. I like cottage cheese, but
I don't mind the
cottage
texture.
cheese and brains. Yeah, we're on to something. We're just
You
extending the
nasty.
texture and consistency, right?
So one of the things with brains, right, is that there is a risk of mad cow disease from eating improperly cooked calf's brains. So making sure you get something from a reputable source, kind of like you're
Yeah.
not going to get sushi from a gas station. It's the same logic.
Wait,
The same
that's
logic,
where you
or
get from?
you might. I don't know, but the same logic
Right.
applies.
I
So
don't.
interestingly enough, right, pig's feet are considered offal.
So is oxtail.
Yeah, it's bizarre. They're outside. Like, okay.
I think the reason is because you're getting a lot of like that like all the marrow, all the
Yeah.
gelatinous that comes out of it, And I think because it's from inside the bone, that's where someone will consider it like to be offal.
Do
I
you
don't know.
eat pig's feet?
I have been known to eat pig's feet from time to time.
And it's the texture. I can't do it.
I don't mind it.
I can't. And somebody calling them trotters, which is how they are like often referred to, makes it worse for me. I'm like, mm.
Fun fact: I did a chef competition when I first moved out to West Texas, and the mystery ingredient pig's feet.
What'd you do?
So I was like, how in the hell am I going to make this?
How long did you have?
I think we had about an hour to come up with.
Oh, baby, you have to cook those things all day. Were they pickled?
Exactly.
Or
what's that?
They were raw. They were raw.
Yeah, raw pig's feet.
What the heck?
Raw pig's feet and pumpkin. And I think I had done
that sounds like my worst nightmare.
Oh, what I did was I just cut all that skin around it. And I just put it on the flat top, and I just put something heavy on it just to kind of get that cooked. And I sliced it real thin. And I think I did like what did I do?
So you cut it off the bone,
like a pig's feet and caprese. I was like, it was a pig's feet, and like with caprese, I did a pumpkin masa and pig's feet. Like everything I did, like it was just I just regurgitated like the thinly sliced pig's feet, like skin, if you will. Because I mean, yeah, you're right. It takes forever to cook, and you have to do it within an hour. And yeah, it was tough.
That's nuts.
My buddy and I left. We left that competition just so mentally drained.
So my very first exposure to pig's feet was not in a culinary sense. It was either 7th or 8th grade science. We actually used pig's feet to learn how to suture and to practice suturing. So fun times. I would have never guessed they were something to eat. I'd seen
really,
dude. Well, I mean, look, liver was as like funky as we got when I was a kid. Now pate too, though not like foie gras until I was, in my 20s and had been in the business, but pate, big time. There's so much you can do with liver in a lot of forms, and then of course chicken livers, like in the South, like oh man, and gizzards too. I don't enjoy gizzards as much as livers, but dude, if you deep fry something with enough fat and then you dip it in gravy, like you really can't go that wrong.
I remember. Do you remember when we were in culinary school and we tried foie gras for the first time?
Mm-hmm.
I just remember thinking it was really weird. I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it. Now I love foie gras.
I had a birthday in Austin where one of the main items, it was not a tasting menu, it was a small plates place. I had a foie gras corn dog. It was phenomenal. It was phenomenal, dude. It was so great. It was like tempura battered. Never forget. Yeah.
That sounds like bliss right there. Heavenly bliss.
It was really good. But growing up, it was basically calf's liver and onions or chicken livers. Gizzards too. My brother is a big fan of izakaya, which is like the Japanese like street cuisine or like small plates. It's the counterpart to sushi. It's like what you eat in the Japanese restaurants, right? Where they have the hot food items. So they would make a hibachi style chicken hearts and chicken livers, like yakitori, like on a skewer with very, very delicately seasoned little soy sauce and scallions. Like that's delicious.
Now that you mentioned pate and all that, I'm a little overdue to make some pate. Oh, thanks a lot. That should be one of my next upcoming videos. Pate. Yum.
Pate. Do it. I'm here for it.
Totes my goats.
Goats and goats. All right, now goats. No, I'm just kidding.
I like goats too. Have you ever had lamb liver?
Yes.
I have too, and I love it.
Yeah. It's a little bit less livery flavored than beef.
It's almost gamey, or is it just me?
Well, yeah, but they don't live as long. And I mean, lamb tastes decidedly different than. You know what? I actually can't say that. I have nothing to back that up. What am I getting at here? Hold on just a second.
You're getting it.
So the liver, well, yeah, the liver is the filter, right? And so I guess in a bigger animal, it has to work harder. I think that's where my thought process was going. I have zero schooling in the way of like animal husbandry, and I could not tell you if a cow lives. Somebody out there tell me if a goat lives longer than a cow. I have no idea.
It depends on is it a pet or is it
I am yeah, you're right. You're totally right. I'm straight BSing over here. Don't let me get away with it. You got to call me out. You got to call me out. You got to call me out.
If it's a pet, then yes, it's definitely going to live a lot longer. But you get to a point where you either have to, take care of it or kill it and eat it. I like the idea of both.
Not fluffy. No. All right. So not fluffy. So lamb and mutton, the difference, right? Lamb's little and muttons are older, but mutton's
such a gross word.
Older.
Yeah.
Sheep. Yes.
It just sounds like an awful word. It's like chutney. It's a weird word to me. I don't like it. I like chutneys, don't get me wrong, but
dude, what's wrong with the word chutney?
It just sounds gross.
You sound gross.
I know. Steven is a gross name. Didn't you know that the name Steven derived from gross?
From gross.
My last name is actually Grosales, not Gonzalez.
Grosales.
Steven Grosales.
I believe. I believe.
It's just a weird word to me, but I love it all still. I still enjoy it.
Okay, so one of my exposures to somebody eating heart, probably not at all romanticized because it happened a lot as America, was in the process of becoming America. It kind of fell out of fashion to use the entire animal. It became kind of a sign of social class, whether or not you were using things like snouts and tails and ears and everything else. And so, things became popular and things fell out of fashion. Things being steak cuts and whatnot. And but when I was a kid, I remember watching Dances with Wolves and watching them eat the heart of the buffalo, right? So never thinking that I would try it one day. Like if you'd asked, 7-year-old me, it was like, that's nasty. I don't do that. I was feasting down on some hamburger helper and stuff. Like not that.
So when I killed my first deer with a gun, not with a vehicle,
thank you for specifying.
Right. Well, the first deer I ever killed was with the truck. That's a whole other. But anyway, we were cleaning the deer. We gutted it, and my dad said you have to take a bite out of the heart. And
he did not. Really?
No, he told me I had to because it was my first deer. And I really thought he was joking, so I was like, I just laughed it off. And I've seen so many videos of people doing it, so
jeez,
I wasted my opportunity.
I'm sorry. Cook it to 160, or I'm not interested. No, thank you.
Yeah.
No.
When I was in my 20s, I was a little bit more reserved. Now that I'm, pushing 40, I'm like, yeah, you know what? I just put that blood all over my face and, go scare the crap out of my wife and say, I'm bleeding. That's something I would probably do now that I'm older.
Can't.
Well, yeah.
I mean, I love a good prank as much as the next person, but I kind of would draw the line in eating these organs raw because you got to kill that bacteria, man. You don't know what that deer was eating before you killed it. You have no idea. It could have been into some nasty stuff.
Well, I mean, it's one of those things where I thought he was trying to punk me, and no, he was like people do it,
It's like super duper serious. So is this like the Black Eyed Pea thing? And did you cause all the unprecedented times? Like you didn't?
No, I don't make deer heart tacos, although that does sound good.
There's deer no luck attached to eating the deer heart, and then you didn't do it, and then you doomed us. You doomed our entire generation.
I made our entire generation look like a bunch of weaklings, but like I said, I had my shot and I blew it.
You blew it.
I have regrets.
The regrets. All right, so we talked about feet. So oxtails are considered offal. What's your favorite way to cook oxtails?
I just braise it down. I make a soup out of it, oxtail soup, stew, whatever you want to call it. I keep it very flavorful, very basic. I like to add more vegetables from time to time. I'll add like noodles to it, like a oxtail noodle soup. You know,
Really? What kind of noodles?
no, just like your regular pappardelle.
Yeah.
Yeah, like those long ones. I don't know what it is. It just makes I'm like yeah. And then whatever I have left over, like if I have leftover like soup and all or broth, I'll cook that down real thick and then make like a what's the word I'm looking for? A hash out of it and all that. You know, like just
Yes.
it gets
Yes.
just gets real messy and nasty and just makes me want to eat it right now.
I have 100% been in the mood for some oxtails, and I like to cook them in the Caribbean way. Well, Caribbean's probably not the correct moniker here, but um, there are several, island communities that will have their own spin, but I kind of like mine more like the Jamaicans do with allspice, bay, onion, garlic, the things that you would find in a traditional jerk recipe, and then like carrot, celery, and um, you know, just your typical ingredients, and then a little bit of spice in there, black pepper, red pepper, maybe a Scotch bonnet or
Yeah,
a habanero, whatever's found easier at your local grocery store, and then something in there for sweetness. That's how I like them. And then the same
yeah.
thing, I just braise the crap out of them.
Oh yeah, and get pull bones clean out. I think that's just always so cool. I can
For
never get tired of that.
for anybody who has never eaten oxtails, that cross section right of the tail, um, the bones in there, it looks like a little longhorn. Have you ever noticed that? It's
Yeah,
like a little longhorn. It's like the little longhorn logo, like UT. I don't have any football or sports really affiliations to speak of, except for the Stars. But yeah, that is mind blowing to me. It's always makes me happy when I eat oxtail. It's like a little, I don't know. It's like a little secret,
yeah.
you know.
What about let's see? So oxtail, pig's feet. We've talked about heart, kidneys. Man,
Well, you can't talk about offal without talking about tripe.
yeah. I do like tripe. Makes me
Hmm.
happy.
Did you know that in the United States you can't make haggis properly
I
because
was. That's what I was thinking.
do it,
That's where I was going
do
with it.
it. Okay, you
Haggis.
do it. You do it.
Haggis.
You do it. Yeah,
Oh
haggis.
no, no. I was just gonna ask if you've ever had haggis.
I have, but not the real way
Oh, yeah.
because you can't use lung in the United States.
That's the one thing that I've always wanted to cook is long, but I have no clue how to cook it. Like I'd be confused.
Interestingly enough, that's a thing that I have never had the urge to cook ever.
I've
Um,
wanted so a fun fact, and I googled this, so therefore it must be
it's
true. I have
true,
to put it on
duh.
Facebook to make it
Yeah,
actually true.
let's
But in
make it official.
1971, it became illegal to import haggis into the U.S. from the U.K. due to a ban on food containing sheep lung, which constitutes 10 to 15% of the traditional recipe. The ban encompasses all lungs as fluids such as stomach acid and phlegm that may enter the lung
Ugh.
during the slaughter. Right? It sounds gross. I would still be about trying it.
I just I don't understand that. So anybody who's never tried organ meat of any kind, I know we're not helping the cause right now, right? But I don't really understand the reasoning there. Um, I guess generally on the whole, I do trust the USDA to keep us safe to some degree, but it's porous. Other organs are porous too, and it's like why would like cross section of a liver, right? It's a big filter. It's got a bunch of
Yeah.
things like, and I understand that a lung is different, but right, like it can be washed and soaked just like anything else that you
I
would
would be all
prepare.
about it.
So I just don't understand why I'm like, okay, but people take their own risks, right? Like people buy chicken, and it's probably the most dangerous thing you can cook besides fugu. So I don't
True.
understand like it's
True.
like, okay, well, I pay the money, so I take the risk, right? Like
Yeah.
that's it.
So my wife was saying that maybe next year we were talking about going to Ireland this year, and
Fun.
I told her if we go, we have to go into Scotland because I want to try haggis. Like,
Yes.
but I think that's being pushed back to 25. So we'll see what happens.
Hey, having a trip to plan toward and dream about is half the fun. So.
Right. I've always wanted to try haggis. And I would totally Google it and try it myself, like my own recipe at home, but it's not the real deal.
It's not the real deal unless you're in Scotland, where they say, "Hey, cook whatever you want. We don't care.
That's true.
We don't
I would
care."
also totally buy a kilt if I was in Scotland. And
Please post pictures of you in a kilt.
right, it'd be like the Adidas one, like Jonathan Davis from Korn. That'd be cool.
No, like a full tartan clan kilt. Just
Well, I
get
have to go to
adopted into
Scotland first,
somebody's. Yeah, get
we can
a
totally
coat
do
of
that.
arms. Get a full on. Please, if you buy a kilt, I will start a Patreon. We will get some things going.
The American Scottish chef who's not really Scottish. Maybe like my next video or my next YouTube channel.
Dude, your YouTube channel would blow up. It would blow up.
Guy who cooks in kilt.
All right. What is your favorite way to cook? Let's go back to the beginning. Calf liver. What's your favorite way to cook it?
Oh, just pan fry with a little bit of oil, finish it with the butter, and then just onions. Liver and onion. That's it. To me, that's the only way.
Do you flour it? Because I flour mine.
I haven't lately, but I used to. I used to bread it and all that stuff, and it would always come out really good. But lately, I just cook it. I just pan fry it as is. A little salt and pepper. Done.
Chicken livers. Favorite way?
Chicken livers. Deep fry.
Yeah.
Do you I feel like this is a lightning round. Are we lightning round in this?
Yeah, speed round. Let's go, buddy.
Okay, done.
Do you triple bread them?
Yes, I do.
Do you serve it with like gravy or ranch or like what are you doing?
Yeah, I'm guilty of the ranch.
Dude, I mean, that's why I mentioned it's really good. Like you can't, there's no denying. So somewhere along the way, I love a good deep fried chicken liver. I don't enjoy deep frying things in my home because this little old home doesn't have a vent hood, so all the smell just sticks to the ceiling, and I don't like it. So
how about oysters? Oh wait, are we?
Yes.
Well,
go ahead. I was going to say like we would be. Well, I was just going to say that first we are totally talking about Rocky Mountain oysters in just a second because we would be remiss if we didn't mention quite possibly one of the most, scandalous of the offal meats. But I digress. Yes. Where were we? Chicken livers.
Chicken livers.
I like to saute them down with onions and jalapenos and add pinto beans. Like, dude, it's good. It's really good. Eat it with a folded up tortilla. Like, I
would probably do black beans.
Yeah, I get it. I get that.
But I mean, still, pinto, black beans. Yeah, as long as you make them good, that's all that matters.
Beans. Like, let's do it. Okay, man. Rocky Mountain oysters.
Yum.
That is good stuff. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've only done it once.
So, I mean, for anybody out there that doesn't know, it's bull testicles. I think I can say that on the pod. I just said it, so I'm leaving it in there because I'm too lazy to edit anymore. Balls. But anyway, no, be serious. We're talking about balls.
We're adults, dag nabbit.
We're adult. I think I'm an adult. They gave me a card at some point. I don't know.
The state of Texas thinks I'm an adult.
Yeah, I have an ID that says that. Okay, so if you buy these to prepare, it's a cross section. Okay, you're not walking out with a balloon looking something, right? So I'm trying to be. I realize how funny this is, and I'm trying to be as adult as possible without being crude. But anyway, it's a cross section, and usually it works the best to cut into strips if you're going to fry. Yeah. So they are delicious. I think they also taste like liver. Do you think?
Yeah, I agree 100%, and that's one of the many reasons why I like them so much.
I mean, it's kind of polarizing, right? Like, if you can get over the fact of what it is that you're eating, which I think is half the battle, then the next part is most organ meat is going to kind of veer in the liver direction. So if you don't like that flavor, it's the iron, right? It's the iron. It's iron rich. If you don't like that, you're probably not going to like it, but it doesn't mean that you shouldn't try. And then there's a couple of other things that are considered offal that I find interesting, right? Beef cheeks, I guess, because it's inside.
Mhm.
Beef cheeks are amazing.
Yes.
They are amazing.
Yes, I love beef cheeks. They have, they have a lot of silver skin, and you have to clean them up quite a bit, but totally worth it.
It's worth it. You're going to have to work for it a little bit, but I like to sear them really, really well and then braise in a crock pot. Girl's best friend.
Yeah.
I don't need diamonds. Okay, guys. My best friend, quote, quote, best friend is cooking equipment. I don't need diamonds. If any single man out there is listening and you're like, I wonder what we should buy her, kitchen equipment. Okay.
Yeah.
Kitchen equipment. So
I can see that.
He went to Jared, more like he went to Sonoma. Okay.
So. Got the gold-plated pan.
It's a gold-plated spatula.
Right.
But yeah.
So
beef cheeks are great, but Oh, go ahead.
Oh,
what's your question?
Are great. No, we'll circle back to my question because it's still part of the cow. But beef cheeks are great, but I feel like there's a clause.
There's a but it's not related to cows. Chicken feet are not actually technically considered offal. Did you know that?
I would have never thought about that.
Bizarre, huh? Pig's feet, yes, but chicken feet, no.
Hello.
I don't know. Who sits on the board of offal?
People. What is it? The elders? The elders.
It's the board of elders for determining what's an organ. No. Are they wait, are you ready for it? Are they an organization?
I see what you did there.
Stupid. All right. Anyway, back to you. What's your question?
Did you know that udders, cow udders, or udders in general are considered offal? Have you ever had udders?
No, I have not. No.
That's another one that I've always wanted to try, but I have not. I can't find them, and B, I would be so confused as to how I would cook them. Yeah.
Okay. Look, I promise everybody out there, I'm not trying to be crude, but I have very strong feelings about this. The only time that a person should have a teat in their mouth is if they're a baby. That's animals, mammals. Okay, I'm just gonna put that out there. If you want to try them and you're like, oh, it's the best thing ever, it's better than sweetbreads, I might be persuaded, but yeah, I got feelings. Feelings about this. I didn't know they were considered offals. So
I read it online. Yeah.
Well, it means it's true. Duh.
We're gonna put it on Facebook so that way it definitely is.
It'll be Facebook official. What about the other kind of lesser known eyes?
I would imagine that's considered offal as well.
Yeah. Do you think they're any good for eating? I don't see them in stuff.
I've eaten eyes before. Yeah. I'd say so.
Oof. Cow?
I mean, I wouldn't say it's like great for eating. I wouldn't have like a taco full of eyeballs, but I know that they probably do it like in Mexico and stuff like that.
Yeah, probably. Like, so is that something that would go into like barbacoa?
I mean, you
Not
could.
Really. No?
You could totally do it, like where you just throw like the whole head in and in a pot and just cook it all down.
What about like snout and ears?
I've had snout and ears before. Ears are very gelatinous and they've got that cartilage. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of it's a different eat. I've cooked pig ears before, and when I ate them, I was like, this cartilage is throwing me off. It's not going to break a tooth.
See, it's that very, very much like it is a perception that's very drilled into Americans as a whole, right? Like I'm not going to lie, everybody out there, right? Like I would have a really hard time eating anything that I gave my dog as a treat. Now, everybody doesn't treat their pet the same, right? And then, everybody is not like a dog person. So there's not a lot of breakdown between like, what do I eat? There's just some things people don't think about, right? Like my dogs are spoiled. They live very well. And that's not to say that anybody else's animals don't, right? But it's just like, pig ear to me is like smoked and you give it to your dog as a treat. I've never had one. I don't care for like cartilage type stuffs. I think the closest I've been is like pigtails. Pigtails are great. Pigtails are honestly great, but they need to be like brined and patted dry. Like they take a lot of care to be great.
How would you cook them?
I deep fried mine. So I watched a special on the Food Network, and it was the best thing I ever ate, like Unusual Foods edition or something.
Yeah.
One of the things on there was, oh my gosh, what was it? It was like pancreas pastrami or some ridiculous like out there thing. I can't remember what it was. But one of the other things was pigtail, like buffalo pigtail wings, because it has like the bone segments in it. And so there were some friends of mine at a church I used to go to in Austin, and their teenager was doing FFA, and I asked, like, please, can you save me like 4 or 5 pigtails so I can figure this out? And yeah, it came frozen and shrink wrapped. I hacked them apart with a meat cleaver. I made like 1.5 to 2 inch like thick chunks.
Yeah.
Washed the crap out of it, like water, baking soda, whatever. I mean, because it's, you know, a pig's tail is poop adjacent all the time. You just have to be realistic, right? Wash the crap out of it. Soaked it. Yeah. Hey, no, puns always. Yes, they're always intended. You're right. You're right. That was genius. I didn't realize I did that. And then brined it, and then marinated, and then triple breaded, deep fried, and tossed in buffalo sauce. Chef's kiss. It was like pulled pork and gelatinous had a baby. It was good. It was really good. Super good.
Well,
I'm sad that there's not places to buy more offal around. I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like it's one of those, you got to know a guy.
You got to know a guy who knows a guy. Yeah.
You got to know a guy who knows a guy. You know?
Just go hunt and kill him yourself. That is the only way to do it.
Or you could do that. I am the path of least resistance. I want to buy it on Amazon. If I can't buy it on Amazon, it's not happening.
On Amazon. Huh. We could be onto something here. We're going to have a new business model.
Put that on the list of things you shouldn't type in Google, though. Like pigtails on Amazon. Just like, I feel like that could get you in trouble a little. I don't know.
The people who are monitoring our Google searches in the government are going to be like, man, these are some sick people.
They're like, what's happening? What is going on? All right. So the other kind of offal related things, blood sausage. Are you in or are you out?
In. I haven't had it, but I would be in.
Yeah. I like all of the sausage things. Please count me in. That's a perfect soundbite for somebody if they want to make that sound dirty, but here we are. So, you know, it is what it is.
Now I'm going to start doubting myself. I don't know if I've had it or not. I think I have.
Well, have you had like a full English breakfast? There's like black sausage on that. So.
I think.
Or you're going to, you know, if you go to Ireland, though, you're going to have that full Irish breakfast, and it's going to have like back bacon and black pudding. And it's going to be really good.
Yeah. But really I just have to go now.
You're what now?
I have to actually go now, you know?
Yeah. Challenge. Go do it.
Yeah.
Go do it. Nothing's stopping you. Nothing's stopping you.
So then, okay, is offal keto friendly?
Yes. It's all protein. All protein.
Foiled again. It's a good thing I'm not going keto, but you know. For those of you listening, if you're keto, offal is keto friendly.
Yeah. Keto was originally developed for people who had kidney issues, kidney disease, and things like diabetes. And so it was initially developed to be in the short term, so that it would kind of reset your digestion and your insulin. It would help your insulin resistance. But yes, if you're a person out there that's partaking in keto, offal is a fantastic source of protein. Of course, not fat, so you'll have to get your fat from somewhere else if you're playing like the macros game where you're monitoring your protein, fat, and carbs. But yeah, it's super keto friendly. It's super budget friendly. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's loaded full of vitamins and minerals.
Minerals.
Everyone should eat offal. Everybody
should eat offal. Offal
I feel if you're not eating offal, are you really living?
Where did that word come from? I'm legitimately asking you right now. I have no idea where. I guess I probably should have. I'm like a terrible podcaster. I should like
So
research
offal,
this.
let's see, offal meaning. What I remember, it's derived from off, like let's see, the OF. It was like kind of short for off, and then like the FAL. It was like the way I remember it was falling off or something like that. Let's see, how do you?
Oh, yeah, yeah. So it's the things that fall off of a butcher's block. I remember there was like a
Yeah,
story that went with it.
yeah,
So I think it's actually pronounced awful, which doesn't make it sound any better. But here
yeah.
we are. Like, here we are.
I don't
So,
think it's
well, I
awful.
want to hear from.
I
I
think
think
it's
it's freaking
lovely.
delicious. I want to hear from everybody out there. Have you had awful? What is your favorite way to eat it? What is your favorite way to cook it? Are you one of those people that's never going to try it no matter what? That's okay. That's okay. There's plenty of room at the table for everybody, right? These are just the conversations we have about the things we eat and we cook. We don't gatekeep, but it's delicious, and I think you should try some at least once in your life, right? It
And
doesn't have to be foie gras. Um, foie gras has a lot of like it gets a super bad rap. There's a couple different ways to look at it, and
it's yeah,
I mean it
it's
is what it
delicious.
is.
That's all
But
you need to know.
head cheese could be considered
Okay.
awful. It's all organ stuff, right? All together. Chitlins, which is another name for tripe. It's a regional name for tripe.
Very
You
delicious
know,
too.
to me, I like the idea of like if you're gonna eat an animal, use the whole thing. But
Yeah,
it's not always the prettiest, and then that's where chefs come in because we can make unpretty things look and taste more pretty. So there you go.
I just found a lot of new video ideas for my YouTube channel. So
So
I've done a couple
basically,
already.
so Steven's gonna start a YouTube series where he goes from nose to tail on a cow. Is
There
that the
you
deal?
go. Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Sure. Let's do
It sounds awful. Okay, I'm done. I just had to do it one time. Um, Steven, where can people find you on the World Wide Web?
Find me on Facebook, Chef Steven Gonzalez, Instagram, TikTok, X, because that's Twitter now, Chef Stegons,
I refuse.
or
Chef
yeah,
Steven, her.
chefstevengonzalez.com, which I need to update. I'm throwing myself under the bus. Hashtag I just threw myself under the bus and reversed all over myself. Yeah.
I feel like everybody's missing out the drinking game. So hashtag please don't cancel us. Eat more organ meat. There you go. Uh, please reach out to us on Facebook and Instagram, the Food for Thoughtcast or chefstevengonzalez.com. If you want to talk food, let us know what you're cooking. Let us know what you're eating. If you decide to try organ meat, happy to provide recipes, tips, places to start, anything you need. Don't trust everything on the internet. It's not true. No matter what
Unless it's
you
on
may have
Facebook.
heard. Unless it's on Facebook, then it's Facebook official, but I still don't know if that makes it true or not. Don't forget, don't forget to check out our friends over at the Main Street Electrical Podcast for all things Disney news, imagination, and pop culture. David Dollar and Jen Novotny, huge supporters of the show. Thank you so much, Steve. We
Thank you.
need to go. We got to go.
Okay.
We gotta go. Thanks for
Go.
listening, everybody. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.